Good afternoon, my name is Darrell Oviatt, and this is my scholarly person speech for Winona State University. To be scholarly or not to be scholarly, that is the question. Being a scholar can take on many forms. These forms may be the difference in being successful or not being. The true definition of success is up to each and every individual. The purpose of my speech is to introduce the perception of what it means to be a scholar, to describe what I feel important traits of an everyday hero of a scholarly person are, the social justice issues within my role as a clinical research coordinator, the positive outcomes of being an educated person, and my stories of success from happenstance. Dictionary.com definition of scholarly is concerned with academic learning and research. Traits of a scholarly person. Well, first of all, you'd have to have passion. You have to be imaginative, ethical. Obviously, in research, there has to be ethics of some sort. Loyal, competitive. You have to have integrity. You have to have courage to risk. And you have to have willingness to sacrifice. As we all know in this job, there are sacrifices that we have to make. The everyday hero. My everyday heroes are all people who sacrifice to help each other. They could be MDs, research coordinators, teachers, police officers, firemen. Anybody that has to sacrifice are my everyday heroes. I couldn't narrow it down to one. If I had to narrow it down to one, I would probably say in my life, my everyday hero was probably my grandpa, who I patterned my life after. He actually was a custodial engineer, which the name janitor at a school. And he spent pretty much all of his days, yes, doing the jobs that a typical custodial engineer would do, but stopping into kindergartens or reading books to kids, and just little things that seem to make a difference. And kids still remember it because I've actually met kids that I remember when I was 10, my grandfather actually retired. And I actually know people that still come up to me to this day and tell me stories of how awesome he was, and they have books for him. Lyle, his name was Lyle. They had Lyle the Crocodile book. They gave it to him at his retirement, and they still remember this. And I have pictures at home from his retirement as well. Scholarly in that they strive to gain great knowledge about diseases in our role. I used our role as research coordinators. Obviously, we want to help people. We wouldn't be here if we didn't. Strive to find cures. Courage to take a stand. There's many times that we could just walk the other way or turn the other cheek, and yet we don't. Put others ahead of themselves. I think that's extremely important probably in our role. We're not here for ourselves typically. We're here to help people. Yes, we get paid to be here. I mean, obviously we all have bills to pay. But if we really didn't care about others, I don't think we would do this job. Imagine problems and raise questions. That is a huge part of an everyday hero. There's going to be problems, there's going to be questions, but we need to make sure that, the everyday hero is going to make sure that these get answered, or somehow we try to find some solutions. Passionate about learning and research. I know in this job, in the short term that I've been here, there's a lot of learning and research. Obviously, we have to figure out what we're actually doing, and ours is the disease groups. I mean, if we didn't have a passion to learn about them, why are we here? Why would we be here? Social justice awareness. The role of a clinical research coordinator is female dominated. For those of you that were at my previous speech or read some of the other things, we did talk about this. Payscale.com, 83% female and 17% male. So the justice issues or social justice issues for this profession are gender domination. Since it is female dominated for a male in this role, there are obstacles that you're going to have to do it because people aren't used to us being here. But the good side of that is we have a different perspective, so we can bring things to the table that maybe wouldn't be seen. If you have too much of a gender domination, it's obvious that females and males think differently. And you have to somehow meld them together to actually fix that. Right, Jenny? Okay. Effects of education. Socially, the educated person is better prepared to adapt to stressful situations due to the rigors of the education experience. Probably up for debate, but you could say School of Hard Knocks could be another way that it just happens. And I know that there's people in the room that have learned to do this job. They didn't go to college to do it. They just worked their way from the bottom and worked their way up to this job. So that is an education experience. It may not be a degree, it may not be college related, but it is education. You had to learn how to do the job, so that is important. Increased interaction with others, teamwork. The school experience does do that. We have to learn. It's just like doing the speech. We had to learn. We have to interact. I have to talk to you. Have you come here? It's teamwork. You guys are here supporting me in my role of being in education. Another point I wanted to make was compensation. Average annual income, according to statisticbrain.com. It's actually high school dropout makes $24,000 a year. That's their average income. When you get some college, you're at $37,000. Associate's degree goes up another $3,000, so you're at $40,000. Bachelor's, $15,000 difference. Master's, $67,000. One thing I did find interesting is a professional degree, they actually make average more than a doctor. They make $6,000 or average $6,000 more than a doctor, which in this role to me, being, working in a hospital, a Mayo Clinic and being around it, it's just kind of strange to me that a professional that's really not having people's lives in their hands, maybe looking at numbers or whatever they do in their role, makes $6,000 more than an MD that actually is trying to cure and help people. That's just a personal plug. Associate's degree, obviously we have to, and they've changed that now here at Mayo Clinic, so you have to have one to be an associate clinical research coordinator, bachelor's to be clinical, and then they have certification opportunities as well. Happenstance. The book by John Krumboltz is Luck is No Accident, Making the Most of Happenstance in Your Life and Career. And it's just an interesting book that we had to read for this class, and basically what it's about is unplanned events, chance occurrences, and they are more often determine life and career choices than all the careful planning we do. A chance meeting, a broken appointment, spontaneous vacation trip, a fill-in job, a hobby, those things, the unexpected life occurrences, probably play more of a role in our life and what we end up doing for a profession than actually sitting down and trying to figure it out and think it through and just over planning it to the point. Myself, I know I've changed my profession 3-4 times, and when I was in college, I changed 3-4 times because something that may seem like it might be a great idea just doesn't turn out to be that. Personal stories to go along with happenstance. College, for me, it was the loss of a job. The company I was working for, I was a manager there for 13 years, and they decided to go a different direction, hired a different manager, and I was out the door. It was just one of those unexpected events. But I had wanted to go back to college since I quit college in my early 20s for a long time. I only had a semester left. And I went back, I got my associate's degree. And that chance occurrence, the unexpected event, led me to get my associate's degree, number one, and then also get the opportunity to go to Mayo School of Health Sciences, which put me in my career now, which goes along with the career part, now being an associate clinical research coordinator. If all these incidents wouldn't have happened in my past, I wouldn't be standing here. Being a manager and coming here, none of that. If they didn't let me go that day or change my career for me, I wouldn't be here today. And I think that would probably be a little bit sad because I think I found a profession that I actually do thoroughly enjoy and coworkers that I enjoy working with, and that's something I really probably didn't have for a long time in my life. I felt like I was searching, so those chance occurrences actually allowed me to be here. Along those lines, I was actually going to school to be a social worker, and it didn't work out. I didn't like the fact that I couldn't help people. I wanted to be in some sort of a role where I wanted to actually have something that told me that I am helping people. And in that situation, I couldn't be there. No matter what you did, it seemed like there was always red tape and the doors were closed. So my chance for that was I actually went on Mayo Clinic because I wanted a job that afforded me to be able to be with my family and not work every weekend. I applied for a job as an associate clinical research coordinator, not even know what one was. My daughter's diabetic, so I just applied. It was in the diabetes section, so I just applied. I didn't get it, but it led me to further along and do some investigating on what a clinical research coordinator really was. And after I started reading it, it sounded like me. my manager's experience, and just my quest for knowledge and trying to learn new things, and of course helping people. If I didn't want to help people, I wouldn't be here. I'd find something else where I could make a lot more money. But money is not, to me, money is not always everything. In conclusion, the choices that we make in life surrounding our opportunities to be scholarly affect us immensely. They affect our personal lives, our professional lives, and the lives of others. My everyday heroes are the people who put others before themselves, the people who think outside the box and strive to better themselves not only for their own personal gain, but for the betterment of mankind. People whom can be counted on to be scholarly and make a difference. I personally strive to be one of these people each and every day. This I just added for humor. I thought it was kind of funny. I kind of pattern my life like that, and I try to be gentlemanly and a scholar and help people when I can. The references I used were dictionary.com, Google Images, Luck is No Accident by Crumbolt's, Pay Scale, and Statistic Brain. Does anybody have any questions? Comments? I thank you all for attending.